The issue that I was interested in is the street lighting issue. As you know, they've turned the street lighting off overnight. Initially it was from 12 o'clock midnight through to the whatever time it is in the morning, but I think the main concern was the 12 o'clock onwards. We're not that far from London here. A lot of people commute up to London and often stay in London for their social life. It's not unheard of for people to come home on the last trains. Even the third to last train home comes in after midnight. I think probably you don't really think about it until you find yourself at the train station after midnight and you start walking home. You've maybe got a quarter of an hour walk, even a 10-minute walk, and suddenly all the streets around are pitch black. Pavements are really bumpy. There's grass verges, you can't see the curb. You just can't see where you're walking. Sort of neighbourhood-wise, we've been chatting to people because I know lots of people on the parish council because I'm involved with the neighbourhood plan and things like that. We chat to residents a lot. A lot of people are more concerned about security now as well, and there's been lots of petty burglaries and things. So there's a perceived, whether or not it's true, I don't know, but there's a perceived idea that crime is rising in the area. Petty crime mostly, you know, burglaries in garages and cars. So people are worried about the security. All people, the elderly people that don't actually go out are worried about crime. Again, it might be a perception. It's very hard to know in actuality whether there's a cause and effect on it at the moment, although there is a person looking into that in Wallingham, I think. From my point of view, I'd be concerned about if my daughter was still living here. She's up in Croydon now, but if she were still living here and travelling back late at night and doing stuff like, you know, going around the area like younger people do, then I might be concerned about her coming home and things like that. So I think it's across the board, really. From my district, well, I thought he's a parish councillor, but he's also a district councillor, so he knows, Alan knows the process, and he suggested I ask the question. And that was very easy to do. He helped me with the question. And then I think it was Sarah who I sent the question in to. She said it just needed rejigging a bit because I was only allowed to ask one question and get one freedom of information statement. So we had to rejig the question a little bit, otherwise it wouldn't have been allowed. So she helped me do that because, so that was very helpful. So it was very easy to ask the question. And yeah, I got the answer. She was very easy to discuss things with. So yeah, but I wouldn't have known about it otherwise. I wouldn't have even thought about it. No, we've just been talking generally about it, and I knew the parish council, it was one of the things they were looking at, and it was Alan that said, well, you can ask questions. So that was what we did. So that's as far as we've got, really. I had no idea what sort of response, but it was a good response. It was quite straightforward. The cost was, it was explained how they got the cost, and that was quite direct and simple. And then the reasons why they wouldn't do it were understandable. I wouldn't say I particularly agree with that, but then that's you know, I would have thought maybe they could increase what they charge to the parish to cover the cost of the admin and the management and the development of the extra flexibility. But that's not for me to say. I think that's for the district councillors and people like that to talk about. Yeah, we've had the written response, yes, which gave the details of the cost of it and why they didn't consider it was a feasible option. So yes, we've had that, and so the next thing to do is really, I guess, talk to the parish and the district councillors about that response and see if we want to take it any further or question any of it. The committee that was due to be held was postponed because of the snow, so I think the next one is June sometime, so we've got a bit of time to think about whether we want to do any supplementary, because you can do a supplementary question, can't you, at the next committee meeting.